What happened?
Cause y'all negative. On my mama, y'all talking about Lil Poppa on my mama. Like, I'm not even playing on my mama.
That be negative.
Oh my God, no. No, serious. No. Oh my God. Oh my.
Poppa, born Janarius Wheeler, has died at the age of 25.
What's up, fam? Listen to this real quick. What I'm about to show you today is going to hit different, for real. We're talking about a young king, just 25 years old, signed to CMG, with everything lined up and truly impacting lives out here. But on February 18th, 2026, Jacksonville lost one of its most authentic voices, and hip-hop lost a genuine talent. This is how the rap world responded to Lil Poppa's passing. And trust me, some of these reactions will have you feeling it heavy. So if you're rocking with me, tap that like button now, because we're about to go deep into this story, and you might walk away thinking differently about checking on your people before it's too late. Now hold up. Before we break down the reactions, we need to talk about what Lil Poppa was facing mentally, because this part really matters. If you scroll through his social media in the weeks before his death, it's clear he was fighting serious mental health struggles, no exaggeration. On Twitter, he shared deeply troubling messages that showed he was in a dark place. He posted things like, "I'm scared to go to sleep, and I'm lonely, bro," and even asked, "Is it okay to cry?" Those aren't random thoughts. That's a young man reaching out for help. He also shared, "I never asked for any of this. I cried all my tears in the dark, and I only have pain left to give." What really alarmed people was when he tweeted, "I don't really like me, and forgive me, Father, for the devil's tricks." You can see the internal war he was fighting, and honestly, it's heartbreaking. But here's where it gets even deeper. Lil Poppa also wrote, "I thought they were loyal, but the jewelry made them judge me, and this time I'll do better." That shows he was battling trust issues and feeling like success changed the people around him. That's a common reality for artists who come from nothing and suddenly gain fame and money. He also posted, "Word of the day is distance. I love y'all, but forget y'all." That's the push and pull of depression, loving people while still wanting to push them away because trust feels impossible. Another tweet that stood out said, "The first mind is right every time. Trust no one." This young king felt paranoid, likely believing he couldn't rely on anyone. When mental struggles mix with isolation, that paranoia only grows stronger. But here's the wild part. Lil Poppa was dealing with depression while navigating Jacksonville, one of the most dangerous cities in America. He grew up moving between his mom's place on the east side and his grandmother's home on the west side. He also battled a chronic blood disease that sometimes forced him to stay inside, which likely intensified his mental health struggles. The pressure of being signed to CMG, the expectations, the street politics, and his personal battles were all weighing on him heavily. In one tweet, he wrote, "I got 2 albums left before I pack my stuff and leave the label." That shows he felt trapped. He believed he had to keep creating music even when he wasn't mentally okay. What's especially sad is that he also posted, "I need a house somewhere in the DMV at this point, and can't wait till January 1st so y'all can see the real me." He was trying to envision a better future, planning an escape from Jacksonville and hoping for a fresh start. But his mental state wouldn't let him see that far ahead. His mother's reaction. Let's start with his mother's response, because this is where things get truly emotional, for real. When the news of Lil Poppa's death broke, his mom posted on Instagram with words that hit straight to the heart. She simply wrote, "Lord, I need you," with a broken heart emoji. That's it, just 4 words carrying the weight of unimaginable pain. You have to understand, she watched her son battle mental struggles, watched him chase a way out through music, watched him sign to a major label, and just when it looked like everything was about to change, she lost him at only 25 years old. The fact that she turned to faith in that moment shows the strength of belief within that family. No mother should have to bury her child, especially at 25 with so much life ahead. What makes it even more heartbreaking is that she probably was one of the few people who truly understood what he was going through mentally. She likely saw the warning signs, tried to support him, and hoped success would bring him peace. But sometimes, love alone can't defeat mental health battles. She also knew about his chronic blood disease and how it affected him physically and emotionally. She watched him manage that condition while chasing success and navigating street pressures. That's an overwhelming burden for anyone that young, and she probably worried about him constantly. Now listen to this because it gives chills. In one of his songs, Lil Poppa rapped words that feel haunting now. Pac died at 25, Biggie died at 24, and it made me nervous. I just turned that age a couple of days ago. That's eerie. This young king was unknowingly foreshadowing his own fate. He feared turning 25 because of the history. Tupac passed at 25, Biggie at 24, and he had just entered that same age range. What this really reveals is that Lil Poppa understood the pattern surrounding young rappers. He knew the industry, especially for artists from the streets, could be dangerous. The pressure, the lifestyle, and mental health struggles eventually collide. When you think about it, that lyric shows he had a deep awareness of mortality. He was afraid, and honestly, with everything around him, that fear made sense. The fact that he passed at 25, just like Tupac, is something hip-hop won't forget. But it goes deeper, because those lyrics show he studied hip-hop history closely. He knew the stories of young legends gone too soon and feared repeating that path. That fear likely fueled his anxiety and depression. Imagine living every day believing you might not see 26 because of a pattern surrounding young artists. It also shows he understood his own talent and potential. He compared himself to legends like Pac and Biggie. He believed he had that level of ability, but he also knew greatness sometimes carries a high cost. Now, let's talk about female rapper Pluto's reaction, because her live response was truly heartbreaking to witness, for real. Pluto was streaming live when viewers started flooding the chat saying Lil Poppa had died. At first, she didn't believe it. She kept saying, "Y'all lying, don't play like that. What are you talking about?" She kept asking, "What do you mean? What are y'all saying?" But as more comments confirmed it, you could see her expression change in real time. The realization hit, and she broke down instantly. She started screaming, "Oh my God, no, 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 this can't be real. Oh my God, oh my God."
That man negative.
Oh my God, no, 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 serious.
The emotion in her voice was undeniable, fam. This wasn't just another artist reacting to industry headlines. This was someone who truly cared about Lil Poppa and felt the loss on a personal level. What made it even heavier is that Pluto and Lil Poppa shared a genuine bond. They had collaborated before, and she consistently showed love for his music. In interviews, she often praised his talent and spoke of the potential she saw in him. So when she learned he was gone, the impact hit her instantly and hard. You can literally watch her go from disbelief to total heartbreak within seconds. That's the kind of reaction that comes from losing someone close, not just a name in the industry. Another key thing to notice is that Pluto's reaction was completely raw. She wasn't performing for the camera or turning the moment into content. This was pure, unfiltered grief from someone mourning a friend. That realness is exactly why her reaction resonated so deeply and spread everywhere online. After the news settled in, you could see Pluto trying to pull herself together, but the pain was still visible. She was likely replaying memories with Poppa, moments in the studio, or times he showed her support. All of that emotion was hitting her in real time. While Pluto shared her feelings live, Boosie Badass honored Lil Poppa differently, showing just how respected he was across the South. Boosie is a Louisiana icon who's been in the game for years and witnessed everything. When he speaks about someone, people pay attention. So when Boosie shared that heartfelt tribute video online, you could tell it came from sincerity. In the clip, Boosie said, "Tip Thug in peace, Lil Poppa, Duval legend." For those unfamiliar, tip means thug in peace rather than the usual RIP. That street language shows Boosie saw Poppa as someone who lived that reality while trying to rise through music. Calling him a Duval legend carries major weight coming from Boosie. Jacksonville is known as Duval, and for an artist from another state like Boosie to label Poppa a legend shows deep respect for the young king. What's powerful is that Boosie has always spoken openly about mental health and the struggles young rappers face. He shared his own experiences with depression and how the industry can mentally wear artists down. So his tribute to Poppa wasn't only about music, it was recognition of a young man battling struggles he understood personally. The fact that Boosie took time to record a full tribute video shows how deeply Lil Poppa's passing affected the wider hip-hop community, not just Jacksonville. He could have simply posted a message, but he chose to speak because the respect was real. Boosie also mentioned in other posts how gifted Poppa was and how he stood out among young rappers with something meaningful to say. Coming from someone with Boosie's experience, that praise carries serious weight. It proves the older generation saw Poppa's talent and wanted him to win. But things took a turn when NBA Ben 10 reacted because his response stirred major controversy online. NBA Ben 10, a close associate of NBA YoungBoy, posted something on his Instagram story that many took as disrespect toward Lil Poppa. He wrote that Poppa should have taken his girl with him since she loved him so much. At first glance, people thought he was making a harsh comment about Poppa's death, but looking deeper, Ben 10 was really venting frustration about how much his girlfriend admired Lil Poppa's music. Apparently, Ben 10's girlfriend was a huge Lil Poppa supporter. She likely had his songs on repeat, praised his talent non-stop, and maybe even had that typical fan crush many women get for artists they admire. Ben wasn't feeling how invested his girl seemed in another man, even if it was purely fandom. So when Poppa passed, Ben's statement reflected jealousy and frustration more than outright disrespect. He was basically saying she loved Poppa so deeply that her grief made it seem like she wanted to go with him. But the wording came off harsh, especially so soon after the tragic news. The streets reacted fast, and Ben 10 faced serious backlash from Poppa supporters in Jacksonville. That reaction alone proves how deeply Lil Poppa's music resonated, especially with women. His melodic delivery and emotional storytelling connected with female listeners in a way that stirred real feelings. That vulnerability in his music created powerful bonds, and Ben 10's girlfriend was likely one of countless fans who felt personally connected. The uproar over Ben 10's comment also highlights how fiercely people guarded Lil Poppa's legacy. Even a poorly phrased message was viewed as disrespectful because of the love surrounding him. The hip-hop community wasn't about to let anyone speak carelessly about him, intentional or not. Now let's talk about Lil Duval's emotional tribute. Hold up, because his response was among the most heartfelt and revealing, showing how strong the Jacksonville bond really is. Lil Duval is a comedian and proud Jacksonville native who's represented his city for years. When he speaks about Jacksonville, people pay attention because he's lived through its highs and lows.
So when he shared that long message about Lil Poppa, you could feel the sincerity instantly. His full Twitter tribute carried serious emotional weight. He expressed that the loss hurt deeply because he truly cared about Lil Poppa. He explained that many in Jacksonville had known Poppa since he was young and were rooting for his success because he was right there on the brink. You could feel the genuine love behind those words. Duval watched Poppa grow within the city, saw his growth as an artist, and believed in his journey. That's authentic hometown support, not industry politics. Then Duval made a powerful statement about how after the drill scene losses, Poppa was the one still standing and deserving of success because he embodied what many young Jacksonville rappers aspired to be. He even said Poppa's enemies were fans before anything else. Listen, that statement carries serious weight. Duval was explaining that after the violence and setbacks in Jacksonville's drill scene, after figures like Fivio were lost and others faded, Lil Poppa remained standing. He endured all that turmoil and was on the verge of major success. The idea that even rivals admired him speaks volumes. That's real insight from the streets. Duval meant that even those who clashed with Poppa still respected his artistry. They may have opposed him in real life, but they acknowledged his musical gift. The most heartbreaking moment came when Duval revealed they had spoken just weeks earlier. He shared that Poppa told him he planned to visit Camp Duval soon once he handled his schedule, and Duval told him there was no rush. That detail shows how recent their connection was. Poppa had planned to meet up with Duval, likely to collaborate or simply connect about their city, but now that meeting will never happen. Duval's tribute truly captured who Lil Poppa was to Jacksonville, a young figure who survived harsh realities, earned widespread respect, and was preparing to elevate his city before his life ended too soon. Another important part of Duval's words is that they came from someone deeply rooted in Jacksonville who has long-standing success in entertainment. Duval has witnessed many artists rise and fall, yet he recognized something unique in Lil Poppa. That kind of acknowledgement carries real influence. And before we continue, show love and stay tapped in as we break down how the wider industry reacted to this loss. D-Lo from Detroit also honored Poppa, proving his influence stretched far beyond the South. When a respected Detroit figure acknowledges someone's passing, it signals nationwide impact. D-Lo is known for being selective with her praise, so her tribute showed genuine admiration for Poppa's artistry. Mozzie, another CMG artist and Poppa's label mate, also paid respects. This one hits differently because Mozzie and Poppa collaborated multiple times. They worked together on the Almost Normal Again project and released a track titled No More. So Mozzie wasn't simply acknowledging a fellow label member, he was mourning someone he created with and likely considered a friend. Mozzie's decision to work with Poppa despite having his own established career reflects deep respect for Poppa's talent. When artists share studio time, they witness each other's dedication and creative process firsthand. Mozzie saw that driving Poppa and chose to collaborate more than once. Nardo Wick, another Jacksonville native, also honored him. That tribute shows how the city united in grief despite any rivalry, because tragedy brings Jacksonville artists together. Both Nardo Wick and Lil Poppa were young talents from the same city pursuing success, and Nardo likely saw reflections of his own journey. Trap Beckham, also representing Jacksonville, called Poppa a Duval legend and said the city would never feel the same. That's a powerful statement because it shows just how big the void Lil Poppa left in Jacksonville. When multiple artists from the same city call someone a legend, you know they truly made an impact on their community. The fact that artists from different cities and backgrounds all honored Lil Poppa proves the immense respect he commanded in the industry. This wasn't just a local thing. This was the entire hip-hop world recognizing the loss of a genuine talent. What really hits is how authentic all these reactions were. These weren't just obligatory posts for clout or appearances. They were heartfelt tributes from people who genuinely cared about Lil Poppa as a human and respected him as an artist. The hip-hop community lost a real one, fam. Lil Poppa stood out from many of today's rappers. He had a melodic flow that could reach your soul, yet still kept that street credibility alive. He survived the dangerous streets of Jacksonville, got out through his music, signed to a major label, and was ready to blow up big. What made him special was how vulnerable he could be in his music while still keeping that tough street edge. He rapped about pain, depression, and mental struggles without ever sounding weak. That's rare in a culture where showing emotion is often mistaken for weakness. His Under Investigation mixtape series proved his growth as an artist and as a person. Each release was more refined, more polished, and emotionally mature. You could literally hear him evolve project to project, which is why so many people were hyped about his future. The fact that Yo Gotti signed him to CMG proves industry vets saw his talent. Gotti doesn't sign just anybody. He picks artists with skill, work ethic, and marketability. Lil Poppa had all of that, and then some. More importantly, this entire situation reminds us why we need to check on our people. Mental health is real, fam. Depression is real. And sometimes those who look like they got it all together are battling the hardest wars internally. If you know someone struggling, reach out. Send a text, make a call, pull up. Don't wait. A simple "how are you doing" could literally save a life. Lil Poppa's death shows that success, money, and fame don't fix internal battles. He had it all on paper, but was still hurting inside. We have to do better as a community to recognize the signs and support each other. The warning signs were in his posts, his lyrics, and his actions. But some people are so good at hiding pain that even loved ones don't see it coming. That's why we need safe spaces where people can talk about struggles without fear of judgment. Hip-hop is glorified toughness, hiding emotion and handling it yourself. But that mentality is costing the lives of young kings and queens. We need to normalize mental health conversations, therapy, and asking for help when needed. Lil Poppa's story should be a wake-up call for the entire industry. We can't keep losing young, talented artists to mental health battles, overdoses, or suicide. Support systems matter just as much as record deals. The industry itself needs to step up. Labels should provide mental health resources instead of just profiting off pain. Artists need real support, not just studio time and contracts. Rest in peace, Lil Poppa, a Jacksonville legend gone too soon. His music will live forever, and his story should inspire others to seek help rather than suffer in silence. And speaking of checking on your people, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss these critical discussions. Click this video here to learn more about Jacksonville's hip-hop scene and how they're coping with this tragic loss. Until next time, fam, keep your head up and always look out for each other.